Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to
Sorry, I am late. I just wanted y'all to know that I finally got my trazodone yesterday. And see, I ran out of trazodone something like, I don't know, Thursday or Friday of last week or something. And my sleep schedule has been ass meat because A, my shoulder is really, really killing me. I think it's swollen or something. And B, without trazodone, I don't go to sleep well. So finally got my trazodone yesterday. And
So let me get this straight. I ran out of Prozac. I get the Prozac, and you ran out of trazodone. We are
we are awful human beings, Taz. And I just want you to know that we are out here trying to give out news and entertainment while both of us is unmedicated. Like we not that's not
unmedicated
we're
and
not supposed
running
to do that.
amok.
We're not supposed to do that.
Also, if anybody has any Biscoff cookies, because I just did this, grind some up. Put a scoop in your coffee with a little caramel and thank me later. Mhm.
Hey, if any of y'all can get a hold of some banana pudding moonshine.
You might want to ask Michael Pruitt about that. He's in the moonshine capital.
Just trust me. Have y'all liked the past couple of shows this week? And you're like, yeah, that's all banana pudding. That's all banana pudding
people
moonshine.
The innocence. And and for everybody that kept encouraging my son yesterday,
You ain't shit.
I hope your booty hole leaks today.
You ain't shit. I hope your taint itches all day.
That's cool.
Dad's like, God damn it, don't do that again. Don't do that no more.
He enjoyed his birthday. Then he sent me a long ass text talking about he's more popular than me now. Screw that.
Like
don't yell me. Don't yell me. Don't yell me.
I don't think y'all mean. I don't know.
Original. Okay. Timu copy. That's what he is. Timu copy. Original. Timu copy.
Listen, he is our standard. Hey, when the Saint Swole Me cinematic universe happens.
I'll come back to grinding up Biscoff cookies for my coffee. Thank you, STL Blue Girl.
Listen, your child's gonna be one of the most famous black men in America when the Swole Me cinematic universe happens. Who's ready for the Swole Me cinematic universe? Say yeah.
I
tell my left shoulder is killing me.
I can't say nothing. Listen, I was gonna say, you about to pimp out your nephew.
Hey, STL Blue
then I get up here every day to pimp you out. So I guess
I'm just saying.
I can't really say nothing.
Listen, listen, the streets is feeding for the Swole Me cinematic universe.
Lord have mercy.
The SMCU is ready, baby.
And for the, as he said, Taz's favorite minion. That's literally what he named himself when he came into the show yesterday. For the question that everybody was asking, he got kicked out of Shuffleboard because he was not supposed to be down in the assisted living community with them people. He is not 55, and that is the minimum age he has to be to play in these shuffleboard games. Okay, that's why he
But he
got
doesn't.
kicked out.
Listen, there
It
is
was
no.
not because he was wooing the old women. The old women are still meeting him at the diner in the middle of the day. Don't ask me
Hey,
why, and I'm not
hey,
asking him why.
hey. Listen. He may be too young to play shuffleboard, but he's not. He's not too young or not too old to play Saint Swole Meat in the Swole Meat Cinematic Universe. I don't. I don't give a shit.
And for those asking, yes, it was the wife that was in the background, and she encourages this, and she is the one that hooks him up with the old biddies that like to look at him.
Hey, tell the wife to hook me up with one. I might not be part of the Swole Meat Cinematic Universe, but I am attractive, and I do need a house to pay. I do have a house to pay.
Well, you probably fit in with the veteran biddies down there.
Oh, that'll be even better. Left,
They
right,
probably make
left,
you play
right.
the shuffleboard.
Listen,
They wouldn't snitch
exactly.
on you.
Listen, it'll be left, right, daddy long stroke.
Daddy long stroke. You can't smoke it.
And your brother from another mother ain't shit.
Why he ain't shit? What did he do?
First of all, he told me last night, he was like, I'm old enough to get into the shuffleboard. I'll go down there and I'll take my boy in there with me.
Listen.
Why are you encouraging this?
Listen,
Why are you,
chaos? Listen, chaos at the shuffleboard. At the shuffleboardness, they ain't ready. Listen, crispy beard and deep dark voice, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. Look at Justine talking about pimp swole me.
I can't. So, and just to also answer y'all's question, he will be joining the regular Roll Gallery for Fun News Friday. I have lost control of Fun News Friday. It's really just Gambit and Angry show at this point.
Yes. You listen.
I'm there for bad guesses.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, listen. How many times has this show gone off the goddamn rails and I couldn't get it back?
Oh
listen,
no! Oh, you
sometimes I guide the show and sometimes the show guides me.
No, Gambit has a new segment called "Is it Indiana or is it Florida?" Yes, to all the questions that you have in your head. Yes. Okay, between Chaos and Angry, they supply and Infernal most of what's in the Taz Roulette. Am I good at guessing what the Taz Roulette is? No, because you know the thumbnails, the videos in the back behind the scenes, how small they are. Now imagine when that field is full, because they send enough that I fill that whole space up. So it gets smaller, right? And I'm trying to look. I accidentally called a woman a thumb before. Because that's what she looked like in the I'm still apologizing because somebody found the lady and told her, and I've been apologizing for weeks now. It was nothing personal. I was just trying to guess. Wait a minute, Tash, you broke.
Don't do that.
My boyfriend, he's only drinking coffee with this.
You see what I'm saying? Look,
yeah.
Hey, Taz, if you ever think I don't have any impact, I don't know what I'm doing in the world. Like, why? Why is everything? Just remember, Star's boyfriend is drinking coffee with Biscoff on it. Biscoff in it right now. And you brought forth from thine womb the head of the Swole Meat Cinematic Universe. I want you to think about that. Think about that. I think you should take a bow for having the womb that brought forth your child, that brought forth the Swole Meat Cinematic Universe. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I really think we should celebrate that. We listen, y'all. We talking about consent today.
Yeah, I'm going backstage. I'm going to go back to crushing up my Biscoff. And if you have a coffee bean grinder, break up the Biscoff, put it in the coffee bean grinder, and you'll get a nice. It'll be like a creamer, like a powdered creamer consistency, and it's perfection. All right, that is my contribution for today.
I'm not playing with you. Look at this.
Vaya.
Goddamn shoulder hurts. All right, kids. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a nice long conversation about consent. We're gonna make some jokes, but we're gonna listen. Consider this Thin Albert. With Fat Albert shows, you would get like lessons. But since I'm not dropping pills in your drink, we're gonna call it Thin Albert. This is gonna be some Thin Albert. We're gonna talk. Look at Mary. Listen, Mary, the Gen Xer, is enjoying
shuffleboard. Don't say that too loud. My son be lurking. No. He'll be done came in here and tried to bribe you to be his partner so he can get back in the shuffleboard.
No.
And keep in mind, I'll need y'all to realize my son is not good at shuffleboard. I was shocked because he's usually good at the sports. He's not even getting his ass whooped, and they still won't let him be in there. So, yeah.
Yes, because your son's not there for the shuffleboard. He's there. He's eye candy for the shuffleboard crew, okay? There, Taz. I know you don't want to live with it, God damn it. So, listen, Taz, your son is doing more than shuffleboarding.
I realize that, okay? Listen, I know he runs a
start hitting them old white women like, oh, I haven't seen anything like that.
Trust and believe, okay? I know he runs a whorehouse. I'm not delusional about that.
Hold on. Does he do shuffleboard with no shirt on?
I'm pretty sure he does, because given the opportunity, that boy always taking his damn shirt off. He's been doing that since he was younger. Okay. Oh, Thomas, you don't know.
Old shuffleboard people be like, yeah, let him in.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
No, leave him alone. Let him play.
When he was born, Shaggy's Boombastic came out, and I used to play that song for him because that was the only thing that would keep him from crying. So that should set the stage for you. There you go.
Hold on. Whoa. No, you don't just drop that in the middle and nobody. No. Hold up.
What?
Wait a minute.
Is
Wait one goddamn minute. You, a mother,
yes,
soothed your child, from crying, with Shaggy's Boombastic. Like come on.
First of all, fun story on how I figured out that it was soothed it. I told y'all my mom had a living room at the time with no furniture in it because that was her dance floor. She eventually got furniture by the time I had like my third kid. She decided she should mature and put furniture in that room. Okay.
Maybe I should put
but she had like a banging ass stereo system for the time. And she was playing music, and on the radio, I think my uncle was guest DJing on the radio, and he played the song from her request, right? This boy was going crazy. I don't know why I was at my mom's house, but he would not stop crying. And I was losing my mind because I was doing everything, and he stopped crying. So my mom was my babysitter, and we thought it was a coincidence. Well, evidently the whole week, every time he started crying, she had went and got the cassette single, right? So she would play it and he calmed down. So she told me, so I just kept doing it. It wasn't broke, so I wasn't going to fix it.
Listen, between you and your mama, and you wonder why your son is in the whorehouse. Like, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Wait one goddamn minute.
When did this become a whorehouse?
Your mother and you designed a whore. There you go, Taz.
First
you
of all,
and your mama made a hoe.
Okay, so I have 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 sets of Irish twins. The girls are in the middle. My mama, I came to pick them up one day, had my daughters singing and had choreography. Proud Mary.
Proud Mary. Proud Mary.
Yep.
Hold on. Your daughters is getting Proud Mary. Your sons is getting Boombastic. What is your mother trying to tell you, Taz? Somebody's mama's trying to tell you something. My girls is never giving it up for a man, but my sons is gonna give it up for her.
Oh, trust and believe, because I recently found out that my daughter's first boyfriend, when she was in high school, he cheated. She whooped his ass.
That's Proud Mary. That's Proud Mary. That's Proud Mary.
Like, she put them paws on him. I'm like, damn.
Hey, right now, Mary Greenberg is someplace grinning her ass off because we talking about Proud Mary. You talking about your daughters beating up a cheating man. Mary Greenberg's over here going, yeah, that's what you're supposed to. Yeah, that's right. Proud Mary, this bitch. What you talking about? What are you talking about? Proud Mary. If you cheat on Proud Mary, you get your ass whooped.
And
Now,
evidently,
however,
I've learned that my daughters have also allegedly tapped some people with some vehicles that were being mean to me.
I-
That explains a lot over the years.
let me tell you something. Your daughter's out here like this.
Yes. So,
Your mother helped
and then
her
there's
raise.
me.
Yeah,
I
listen,
told
you
y'all
were
my
innocent.
mama was nuck if you buck. My
That's what I'm
mama.
saying.
The reason
Listen,
why
you over
I know
going.
who Cat Williams is because my mama has some good close friends that lived in the same
Jesus.
neighborhood that he lived in. So we hung out over there a lot. Growing like as an adult, looking back, I was like, that was a rough neighborhood. My mama was like, yeah, that's why I didn't let you leave the stoop. Cause I told y'all, inside cat. My mama was the first one to tell me you're an inside cat. You're a declawed
Jesus.
inside cat. Keep your behind in here.
Your mama out
Yeah.
here making your mama out here making little boab birds. Mini boab birds is just diabolical. If your mama's out here listen, shout out to Taz's mom. She out here, listen, Taz's mom is teaching consent the old-fashioned way. If he cheat on you, beat his ass. Right, Mary, be gone, burn it. Roll it over your head. Like, meanwhile, your sons is out here like, who can get it? Who can get it, everyone?
And you want to know what's funny? My youngest son, he and his wife have a ginger daughter. And I'm pretty sure. Now she love her Gigi. She love her Gigi down. All the tiny humans love their Gigi down. But that one, the ginger and Tiny Muscalini, who's besties with Chaos. And her boy, baby, listen. Baby, listen. Baby, they be ready to nook if you but some of y'all may remember them from my OG page because the youngest one she spent the year with me. I'm pretty sure in Baby Talk she was cussing a lot of people out. I'm pretty sure. But that ginger, just know the other week when y'all made me cry and I had to get on the phone with her and I was trying to hold back tears. First thing she said, Gigi, who did it?
See, once again, it's in the genes.
And I was like, no.
Grandmama living in me, my grandma. Great grandma living. Who did it so he whooped their ass?
I said, Gigi is fine. I said, Gigi is just fine. She, hold on. Mommy. Gigi hurt.
Gigi hurt. God.
And she wanted to call her mama's mama, right? To tell too. Now I will say my family, all sides get along. That Florida woman is about to catch the first thing smoking and whoop some R's.
See, do y'all see the impact the Sound of Coffee has? Are y'all getting it? Are y'all understanding it now? Like, come on.
Yes, man. She was like Gigi.
Are y'all understanding the impact of the Sound of Coffee now? You're getting it? Is it clear to you? What you say on this show might get your ass whooped by a goddamn toddler. I need y'all to understand this.
And
if y'all make Taz cry in a good way, you're going to have a toddler with a baseball bat talking about, you wasn't the good one. You wasn't the good one. We like you. You wasn't the good one.
Keep in mind,
that's right if you want to. And a toddler will show up at your house looking like this.
Right. Keep in mind, she's one.
Yeah. Jesus,
with
man.
Little Orphan Annie, curly cute red hair. She's so adorable. Yeah.
Yeah, she's adorable with a bat.
And keep in mind, her mother and father like to watch things like Bridgerton and stuff like that. So they will old school mollywop you. Like they sit around and talk about like how to attach people to catapults as a hobby.
Wait a minute. She walk around calling people toss pots. Come at thee, bro. Come at thee, bro. We got to start this. Okay, kids, we talking about consent today. Okay. I will forego because it's Thursday. We don't do the normal opening anyway. I'll do it at the end. But let's talk about Peaky Bond. Mo fake. That is diabolical. Damn, that's diabolical. Peaky Blinder, baby, that is diabolical. Jesus. Not the Peaky Blinder, baby.
Yeah,
And look at
that
Shaft.
sounds
Hold
accurate.
on, and look at Shaft. Shaft about baby's first
accurate.
folding chair. Listen, you coffee beans is straight. Y'all tripping. All right, so I'm gonna tell you what is absolutely, possibly the most ego-stroking thing that has ever happened to me. Okay? When a woman looks me in the face and says 3 words, I want you. Oh, Lord.
Oh my God!
I had to explain to y'all where I come from. So here's another Tales of the Young Rogue. All right, so I freely admit I was not an attractive kid. I was precarious and cute, but I was not attractive. Okay? I had to grow into my looks. All right. First and foremost, I have these luscious lips. Now, nowadays, people love luscious lips. They go, oh my God, no. Thank you, LL Cool J, with your licking lip ass. Like, thank you for going someplace else. I had to grow in to a lot of my facial features, right? So, as a young rogue, I really wasn't that damn attractive. You know, rapscallion days, I was an adorable, precarious little kid. But when I hit my teenage years, it was lean out there. It was lean. It was lean as shit. But in my teenage years, I was the drought. God damn it, I was the drought. I've told y'all about my forays into trying to write, little love notes to girls in 5th and 6th grade, and how it completely did not work at all, right? So as a teenager, I was not, I wasn't Michael Ealy, and a damn sure wasn't like Idris Elba. I was more like early Alba. Like that's what I look like, early Alba. So, like, I lost my virginity at 14, but it was to a girl that I had already been messing around with, and who was a friend of another girl I was messing around with in 8th grade. But I digress, right? So, my sophomore year of high school, I came back from California, and apparently, I something in California made me look better. I don't know. When I went back to Kansas City from California, I was getting hit on. Girls was, they were like, "Ooh, he's cute." Oh shit, yeah, I was kind of cute. Yes, early Alba. That's right. I was early Alba, God damn it. Early Alba. So at the time, I consent was one of those things that was kind of like ingrained, because I had a mother that told me, and this is I'm not making this up. You can ask my brother the Saint if you think I'm making this up, because she told him the same thing. She's like, "I love you," and I'm like, "Okay, your mom's supposed to love me." She's like, "But I will come and get you from anything. If you're down in jail, I'll come get you. But if you are on drugs or you rape somebody, I'm leaving This is my mother's words, not mine." She's like, "I love you, and if you get in trouble for something, I'll be there for you. But if you down in jail for drugs or raping somebody, I'm leaving your motherfucking ass there." That was my mother's words, not mine. Marthan said that. So I learned consent from threats. My mother's like, "Let me find out that you down there for that bullshit, and I'm gonna leave your monkey ass right there." All right? She's like, "If a woman wants you, she's gonna want you, but don't take shit." I was like, "All right, cool." So I never took shit. But I did not realize how powerful those 3 words, "I want you," really are, right? When you hear the words, "I want you," we are talking about consent. For 3 days, we've been talking about this shitty ass, bullshit ass, worst film in the history of the word film, Obsession. And the one thing we can say about Obsession is Bear did not get a single ounce of consent in the entire goddamn thing. None. Please love and blessings, Troy. I say all the time, consent is sex. Consent is absolutely sex. It is the acknowledgement that somebody wants your ass. We have already established that coochie will sell when cotton and corn came. For women, it's about learning about giving consent and wanting or getting consent. Because there's a lot of guys that don't like, there are asexual men. There are. There are guys that don't like sex, don't want to do sex, don't do the sex thing at all. Okay? So there are asexual men. And there's some men who really like friendships. They value friendships and emotional attachments and things of that nature. So their consent is always going to be, I'm consenting to have you in my life and things of that nature. Consent is a cool thing. However, in 2026, we got people who are arguing against consent because listen, they couldn't get laid off of, if they got off of a plane in Hawaii, they just couldn't. They could not get laid. One of the things that I'm serious, I have looked at all the think pieces around obsession, or a lot of them. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a lot of the think pieces around obsession. A lot of them stem with this idea of, like, what if you ask for something and what if you get it? Like that sort of shit. I want to talk about the idea of why is consent looked down upon. Like, it's not looked down upon, but you do have to freely admit we're not talking about it a lot now, are we? We're not talking about consent a lot. We're just not. We're more, we're more fixated on the idea of these sexual fantasies. These guys are always talking about, a woman wants a dominant man and a strong man who can, lift half of a building and blah, blah, blah. They're not talking about whether or not this woman wants this man. They're thinking this is what she wants. Women are not even being factored into the conversation. They're not at all. And incels are mad because women are not giving them the consent to have sex with them. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the incel brain, the only thing that they talk about when it comes to consent is sex. That's it. Y'all understand when we start this show, y'all tune in and watch. You got what I'm entertaining you. You have given me consent to entertain. Y'all know that, right? That it comes down to that. It really does. It really does. Y'all go, hey man, it's 8 a.m. I'm gonna go watch Sound of Coffee. Y'all are giving me consent to come in and entertain you. You'll be like, hey, I'm gonna watch this. Entertain me. I'm giving you consent to entertain me. Now, I try not to take it too damn far because I also know that, certain things can be triggering to certain people. In today's conversations, when we talk about consent, we're only talking about sex. We're only talking about sex. Here is a misconception that I want everybody to stop thinking. I want everybody to stop thinking this, okay? Sexual assault and rape are not about sex. They are about power. They are about power. It has always been about power. It is, I'm going to show you that my will is stronger than yours. That's why when you look at any war throughout human history, there's always the pillaging of the land, the murdering of the people, and the sexual assault of women within these tribes. I don't care if it was a tribe, I don't care if it's a nation. You will always find that at some point, the dominant whatever, they will do heinous sexual things to women and children. It happens. I understand it. This might be triggering, but it's true. It is now used as a device. When they had the genocide in Rwanda, one of the things that the UN reported was the usage of sexual assault as a torture technique, right? You see it all around. We as a human, as a species, have never gotten past this idea of being dominant towards somebody else. Consent is the idea of you are getting permission, whether it's, hey, can I hold your hand? Or, hey, can I give you a hug? Or, hey, would you mind if I told everybody about what you got going on? All of that is consent, all of it. But we have this really effed up way of looking at atrocities. Like we separate the atrocity. No, it's all a part of it. All of it is a part of it. Sexual assault is never about sex. It's always about dominance. It is always about, I have a stronger will than you. You will give me what I want. So I told y'all on Monday, the impetus for this entire week was I saw 2 films. One film was Spider-Man Brand New Day. The other one was Obsession. Now, I told y'all, and I'm not spoiling, no spoiler alert needed. There is a scene, there is a part in Spider-Man Brand New Day where a situation happens and Peter Parker and Mary Jane start kissing. When Peter Parker realizes what was wrong, he went directly to Mary Jane and said, hey, there was a moment where this thing happened and we kissed. I now realize it wasn't you, so therefore I'm telling you I apologize, right? Then you have Obsession, which is a man completely just bypassing all of that to get exactly what he wants. I think what bothers a lot of people, and I cannot speak for any woman. I can't. I am not a woman, so therefore I won't speak for one. But I think what bothers me personally in this conversation about consent is how many lawyers we have trying to lawyer this shit up. I got a problem. I really got a goddamn problem. I'll go back. Let's go back a little bit. I'm gonna probably give up some history that a lot of y'all did not know. You're probably young. I'm not saying anything bad, but you need to do that. Clarence Thomas's confirmation was the very first time America had to reconcile with the idea of sexual harassment. It's not like it hadn't been happening, and it's not like people hadn't been talking about it. But here it was in your face over a course of 5 or 6 days during a confirmation for a Supreme Court justice, right? Now, everybody remembers Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation, where the same thing happened, and I cannot remember that woman's name. But she came up and was this, what y'all saw in Brett Kavanaugh, we saw first with Clarence Thomas, right? Here's a woman, Anita Hill, describing instances where Clarence Thomas would make sexually suggestive conversations and stuff like that. Ask anybody who lived through that about pubic hair and coke. Just ask anybody who remembers those remember that damn thing, the whole confirmation hearing about pubic hairs and coke, right? It was the first time America had to be confronted with this idea of men in the workplace being pieces of shit, right? What y'all saw with Brett Kavanaugh, Christine Blasey Ford, thank you. With Brett Kavanaugh and Christy Blasey Ford was the same thing that a lot of us saw with Clarence Thomas, right? And Anita Hill. Anita Hill has never been, nobody has ever apologized. Well, I think Joe Biden, apologized to Anita Hill, but I think he did that when Barack Obama was running for president and he named him as his VP. I think that's what happened. But that conversation, that overarching conversation about sexual harassment and sexual assault, right? Inside of that conversation that we were all having in the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s, there was that idea of consent. That idea of consent. Because for years, like, did y'all know they just changed the law to make marital rape a crime? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? They just, and I'm not talking about like 15 minutes ago. I'm talking about like, I give it over a decade, maybe a decade and a half, where they finally changed the law that says that if a man takes sex from his wife while she's asleep or while she's, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, you know what I mean? David Brock apologized to Anita Hill after writing a 1993 book that attacked her, and Joe Biden expressed regret to her in 2019, though Hill noted his remarks fell short of a full accountability-driven apology, which is true. That happened. You know what I mean? So it's like they just changed that law. It now is frowned upon for a man to take sex from his wife or from a wife taking sex from her husband. They just did that. They just did that. Look at it. As of July 5th, 1993, marital rape is considered a crime in all 50 states, yet there are still loopholes. Look at it. There are still loopholes or exemptions in states where rape happens. Even today, some states still exempt spousal rape from criminal prosecution, making it a lesser crime than non-spousal rape. There used to be an idea that a woman was just supposed to give up sex to a man whenever he wanted it. Because again, the conversation around consent has never really fully been had in the United States. We've had instances where we've had to look at shit and go, wow, that is what the hell? You know, there's the story of tailhook. I was in the Navy. Was I in the Navy? Yeah, I was in the Navy. I was in the Navy when tailhook happened. Tailhook was like a convention or something of a lot of naval pilots and shit like that. And these pilots were so gross with the shit that women were walking down the hallway of the hallway of the hotel and being groped. This is a real thing. Tailhook. It was tailhook, and then that was the Navy. It was tailhook in the Navy, and I believe another incident happened in Aberdeen Proving Grounds, which is in the Army. But again, this all of these things, they all lead back to the idea of consensual anything, not just sex, but consensual conversation, consensual touching, things of that nature. These conversations weren't being had because nobody really even thought about them. Nobody ever really truly thought about these conversations at all, like period. So when something like tailhook happens, you end up going, wow, that is effed up. That's crazy. How did that shit happen? Or you'll hear something about what happened in Aberdeen Proving Grounds. You go, wow, like who did this? Why is this a thing? It is because America has never really truly had this conversation about consent, which is why when we hear if you notice, when they talk about Gaza right now, when they talk about what's going on in Gaza, they will talk about snipers shooting children, bombs being blown, buildings being blown up, people under the rubble. You know, one of the things that they don't do a whole lot of talking about? The sexual assault. There was a what was it, a story? A news article that came out and said that like Israeli soldiers are allowing people to be sexually assaulted by like dogs. Like we don't talk about that. We don't talk about these things. Because I think in America, especially, well, not just in America, but around the world, I think it's a very taboo subject to talk about the brutality, the sexual brutality of a lot of people in charge versus the people that they are inflicting this on. I want y'all to know, a news story popped out and it just went right past us and nobody burned the goddamn world down about all the little migrant girls that had to be moved out of the detention centers that they were in because they all came down with this, their words, not mine, came down with being pregnant. 12 and 13-year-old migrant girls. They had to be moved to an entire another facility because they came down with being pregnant, right? It all comes back to that idea of sexual assault is not about sex, it's about power. It's about power, which is why conversations like consent have to happen. They have to happen. Because if they don't, we end up in a world where, we're shocked by shit like Brock Turner, for example. Brock Turner's trying to rebrand, by the way. I just thought y'all should know that. Brock Turner's ass is out here trying to rebrand. He out here trying to rebrand. He is. And if you catch him on the street, smack shit at him. I don't care. Catch him on the street, smack shit at him. But we as a society never really truly understand the boundaries. Like, here's something that I need every one of y'all to start putting in your lexicon, okay? Every one of y'all need to start putting this into your lexicon. Your rights stop where my rights start, okay? In American society, especially in America, your rights stop where my rights start. Meaning, you have the First Amendment right to free speech. The government cannot do anything to you. However, you are not free from the consequences of said word. So if you walk up on me and call me a nigger and I punch you in your mouth, you still have your First Amendment rights, but it stops at insulting me. Okay? My rights start the moment yours stop. And that means if I hit you in your goddamn mouth, you have gotten the consequences of your work. We don't teach about these things. We don't teach about the fact that our rights they're sacrosanct. They belong to us. And that includes the right to tell somebody whether or not you want them to do something in your life. And I mean that consent is not just a sexual thing. It is it's an all-around thing. It truly is. I don't give you the consent to walk up on me and act like you ain't got no goddamn sense. I didn't give you consent to that. I didn't. I will defend my right to be able to walk on and go on and do what the hell else I was planning on doing. I don't give you the consent to do that. I don't give you the consent to knock on my goddamn door and tell me a bunch of bullshit. I don't. When you knock on my door and I open it, if I don't like what the hell you got to say, I shut the door in your face. I'm not standing here listening to this. Boom. But again, we look at consent. We only talk about consent when it comes to sex. There's the first thing I want y'all to stop doing. Consent is more than just a sexual thing. Consent is a thing about your entire life. Okay? That's the first thing. Secondly, if we're going to talk about it in the sexual realm, you gotta have a conversation with your partner. You got to. You got to have a conversation with the person you getting ready to be intimate with. You got to have a conversation. You got to have a conversation. You have to. Because it's not just, oh, can we have sex? Multiple conversations. Because it's not just about, oh, can we have sex? There are aspects of your entire life that this person is going to be a part of. They are. So you need to have these conversations. Get comfortable with yourself. Get comfortable with the person that you're with. We don't talk, again, I think European ideals of love and the process of falling in love and things of that nature have warped our goddamn mindset. Watch this. Watch me blow y'all mind.
Hold on, Thomas. Before you go forward, let me just put this nugget into the air. I need people to really get this through their skull. Being in a relationship does not mean you are obligated to have sex.
There you go. That's true. That is true. That's 100% true. I'm going to give y'all an example. Watch me blow y'all mind. Everybody loves the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. Did Sleeping Beauty give Prince Charming permission to kiss her in the mouth? No. 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 Now, there's going to be a whole lot of people who's going to be like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're putting that woke ideology in the fairy tales. Where do you think we learn the ideas about love from? Fairy tales, movies, cartoons, things of that nature. Where we learn them? We are in a visual world, especially a technologically advanced visual world. Meaning, you got to look at some shit for what it is. Sleeping Beauty's out there sleeping. Now, she never once gave anybody permission to do anything to her. Same thing with Snow White. Snow White had this exact same thing happen to her. Bite the apple, she go to sleep. Here come a prince kissing her in the mouth. Like, dude, I don't even know you. But when you see these fairy tales and shit like that, it warps your head. It warps your mind. It tends to make you believe that this is the way thing. I'm going to look for my Prince Charming. Be safe, Mary. Love you to death. Kiss that husband. Kiss that kid for me. Oh, my God, I'm going to find my Prince Charming. He's going to kiss me in the mouth. Hey, wait, whoa. Are you going to let him kiss you in the mouth? Are you giving him consent to kiss you in the mouth? I think in a lot of ways, a lot of things that should be taught to our children have been, wrote off. Well, they didn't do that in the movies. And they had a giant mech suit to fight a goddamn alien queen that was popping out face hugger eggs, bitch. Just because they've seen it in a movie doesn't mean it's real, dumbass. We tear our kids up young. We do. Society says we need to raise strong boys, okay? So you got a lot of men out there that'll do a whole lot of manly shit with their sons, take them hunting and fishing and all this other shit. But they never teach them. Hey, when a woman says no, no is it. That's it. She says no, stop. Whatever the hell you're doing, stop. Whether it's sex, a hug, or trying to get a hug. If she says no, walk your ass on. Walk your ass on. The American society wants our women demure and all this other good shit. They're also telling them anything that a man does, you got to take it. No, you don't. No, you do not. You don't. You do not. You don't have to take it. You can give consent. Consent is not. My mother gave her version of you better get consent by telling me if you ever down there in them jails for raping somebody, I'm going to leave your monkey ass there. I used to joke with my son about that. Like, hey, like I tell him all the time, I'm paying child support. I'm paying child support. And when we had the talk, I gave my older son the talk. I told him, this is how this happens, and one of the things that I talked about was consent. A previous sexual encounter is not an open door for more sexual encounters. Exactly. You got to get consent every single time. Every time. Your partner, even if you had sex multiple times before, your partner does not owe you anything. You don't owe them. They don't want a specific moment that then it's right. Their right to say no. It's true. Some people just ain't in the mood. But like I told my oldest son, if you don't hear yes, don't do shit. You could be harder than Chinese arithmetic, bitch. If you don't hear the words yes, walk your hard-on having ass the hell up out the goddamn door. Walk out the door. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. I don't care what. I don't give a shit. If she says no, walk away. Right? But this isn't a part of our American conversation. It's not. It is not. And because of that lack of understanding on things, we live in a society where we seem to believe that we can like write off certain things, especially when it comes to boys. I take that back. Especially when it comes to white boys. I said it. There, I said it. I want to play something for you. I made a video about this. But I really, because this is disgusting to me. This is disgusting to me. And this just recently happened, so.
Today is August the 7th, 2026, and there's even more new Jesse Butler news. There's a new civil lawsuit being prepared by one of the victims, and I'm going to tell you all about it. If you're new.
Now, we're talking about Jesse Mack Butler. We're talking about Jesse Mack Butler. I don't need no damn music.
A big update on the Stillwater rape case involving 18-year-old Jesse Butler, who has not served a day in prison. That is upsetting a whole lot of folks. Well, today, a judge ruling that his probationary period will end tomorrow when Jesse Butler turns 19. The judge ruling today that Butler has completed his rehabilitation plan, ending his probation. Butler's attorney said the next step is filing a motion to expunge this from his record. A big update on the Stillwater rape case involving.
There's the case of Jesse Mack Butler. Jesse Mack Butler was accused of assaulting and raping 2 kids, one of which he put in the goddamn hospital. Put in the hospital by choking her. Choking her. He got off rather than going to prison for 78 years based on the charges that he had. The judge gave him a youthful offender conviction. He never served a day in jail, and he was on supervised whatever the hell until he turned 19 a couple of weeks ago. When things like what Jesse Mack Butler did is swept under the rug, it is really, really hard for us to even have a conversation about consent that anybody will listen.
Youthful Offenders Act, which was passed. Okay, just watch this. A then 17-year-old young man named Jesse Butler is arrested after 2, not 1, but 2 ex-girlfriends accuse him of rape and of strangling them to the point of unconsciousness. One after the other it's about a 6 or 7 month period, claim this happened to them. Butler was at first charged as an adult with 10 felonies, including first-degree rape and battery by strangulation. Very, very serious charges. Here is the body cam video of his arrest. Watch. So this young man, Jesse Butler, was facing up to 78 years in prison. But that's before he got the plea deal of all plea deals, thanks to the Oklahoma Youthful Offenders Act, which was passed in 1994, which allows those under 18 who are charged with serious crimes, the only exception is first-degree murder, to be prosecuted as juveniles. Now, according to multiple reports, Judge Susan Worthington granted Jesse Butler's request to be certified as a youthful offender. And according to the Payne County Clerk's Office, Judge Worthington then promptly retired. She's gone on to retire. Butler then switched his plea once he was afforded this juvenile offender status from not guilty to no contest and was permitted to complete a rehabilitation plan at home along with 150 hours of community service. His case officially ended last Monday, August 3rd, after a different judge ruled that Butler had complied with the plan. Okay, just watch this.
Now, how do you have a conversation with your sons about consent after that? How do you do that? How? And make no mistake about it, it's not just the justice system that pushes this idea of you don't need consent. We'll find a way for you to get off scot-free like Brock Turner. Brock Turner, who I'm only playing these because y'all need to hear them.
You guys remember Brock Turner, the 19-year-old man who pushed a girl behind a dumpster and did things to her and was caught in the act and tackled to the ground, but then the headlines in the newspaper about the arrest kept referencing his swimming times because he was at Stanford for sports? And then the judge ruled that he would only get 6 months because he was a promising young man, but he only served 3. Oh, and his father wrote an open letter to the court saying that his son did not deserve to suffer for 20 minutes of action. The internet sort of made a promise when the judge failed that victim that even though he wouldn't serve too much time, we would never forget his name or his face. And he goes by his middle name now, but people keep tabs and I've seen updates. This case just happened to get a lot of national attention and it still did not result in justice. But regardless, somebody recently posted, and the update was actually about Brock Turner's mother. Someone was able to see that she was part of a Facebook group called Women Against the Registry that was like part support group. And you guys remember Brock Turner?
Now, I want you to think about that. Brock Turner did a heinous crime, got 3 months because he didn't get, he was charged, he was supposed to do 6, he got 3, got out, he's trying to reinvent himself by using his middle name. Bitch, we still see that long neck for no reason ass head, right? And then his mother is part of a group called Women Against Registry. Now, again, I'm only playing all of this because I want you to see what world you live in when you're trying to talk to your younger children about consent. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the world that you inhabit. We live in an incel world, and we're trying to teach our kids, both young men and young women, about consent. Men and women are offenders. Men and women can also be the perpetrators. And some of the biggest opposition that you will find, especially when it comes to women talking about their sexual assaults, are other women. Like good old Brock Turner's mama belonging to a Facebook group called Women Against Registry. Like, this is the world. Imagine you got a young kid and you are trying to teach this kid how to be a good man or woman. And you teach them, hey, if somebody's trying to touch you and you don't want them to touch them, say no. All right. You don't touch somebody unless you get permission to do so. Okay. We learned this shit in kindergarten. This shit is learned in kindergarten. We learn how to share, and we also learn how to keep our goddamn hands to our goddamn self. Now imagine raising that child now. Right now. Right now. And for example, several women teachers have had sex with their underage students. People will say, well, the kids, the boys, they agree to it. They're kids. Let's stop this idea that children can give consent. They're goddamn children. They are children. They are children. No child can give consent to any sort of sexual anything because they're kids. This story pissed me off. And I was watching, like when I got up, I was bleary-eyed. I was trying to, oh shit, I gotta make coffee, blah, blah, blah. I heard this.
phone to the police. According to Hillard,
a couple just appeared in court accused of videotaping multiple children performing sex acts.
Anthony Eby and Chelsea Elmore were arrested last weekend on the charges, and we must warn you that the information in court was shared and it is disturbing.
Elmore.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning for what you are about to hear. Trigger warning. If this is going to be something that is going to bother you, you have my permission to go ahead and walk away for about 3 minutes, and then you can come back. But this is a massive goddamn trigger warning. Trigger warning. Again, if you want to walk away from your phones, go get coffee, take a shit, whatever. I don't care. I will not be mad at you, but trigger warning for what you're about to hear.
Defense attorney said he's never heard a case quite like this, and today's was difficult to hear. During today's hearing, Madison County Detective Chris Hillard was on the stand as a witness. Hillard said there were over 12 videos of different sexual acts Elmore performed on children. The children were taken to the Child Advocacy Center and the Department of Human Resources. Hillard said 2 of the 3 children were interviewed by forensic experts. One of the children was nonverbal and autistic. He said Elmore videoed these acts and sent them to her boyfriend, Anthony Eby. Eby was also at the hearing today seeking bond. The investigators said some of the acts were videotaped at her home and some were taken at a hotel, at a Pigeon Forge hotel in Tennessee. Detectives found the videos because of a search warrant obtained by the Madison County Sheriff's Office, and Elmore given the PIN number to her phone to the police. According to Hillard, the videos have audio which captures screaming and crying from the children. The investigation is ongoing, and both Elmore and Eby are facing life in prison without possibility of parole. Now, Elmore's defense attorney is asking the court for bond. Judge Mann is taking the order under advisement, and the court should have a decision within the next day or two.
A couple just.
Again, to talk about consent in just the black and white way, hey, teach your kid good touch, bad touch. To talk about it with the overlying ideal of where we are today would be disingenuous, would be disrespectful. It would. It would absolutely be disrespectful. So these things have to be talked about in the stream that we're in right now. The podcast bros, the manosphere, the red pill guys, they are advocating against the idea of consent. Now, if this was just a show about consent, the shit would be about 15 minutes long. I don't do anything to you unless I have your permission. The end. I roll credits, that would have been the end of the show. But you have to look at it from the standpoint of where we are right now. Think about consent and think about the movie Obsession. This is why we had these 3 shows that we did yesterday and the one we're doing today all coincide with each other. Because American society, and I won't even just say American society, I'll say worldwide society because E's in the building. We do not talk enough about the heinousness of what happens when you do not get consent. Okay? When people are, and this is a worldwide issue. Please understand, it's a worldwide issue. That's why I said, when you hear about war crimes, they always try to separate sexual assaults and rapes from bombing and blowing shit up and children mutilated and shooting and shit like that. They shouldn't. Because even though it was of a sexual nature, it is still a power play. It is still a form of torture. It is still a way for the dominant group to show their dominance to the lesser and the weaker group. It's not a separate issue. They go, oh, well, it's over there because no, it's all the same. Consent literally is a conversation about the power dynamic. That at the end of the day, the conversation about the power dynamic is why consent is a necessary conversation. A necessary conversation. You have 2 poles. The consent to do something and the forcefulness of just doing it. It's just 2. It's 2 right there. It's 2 right there. We don't have these conversations about these things because I think it makes a lot of people uncomfortable because the moment you talk about consent, the first thing everybody goes to is sex. And it's not. It's not just sex. It's not just sex. You have to have an agreement and an understanding with the person that you're with or the group that you're with before you do something. That is what this all comes down to. The reason obsession pissed me off so bad is because nobody throughout that entire situation even bothered with the idea of do you consent to have any of this shit happen. Bear did not consent with Ian for Ian to tell Nikki everything that he was doing. Didn't. And when I said I was looking at think pieces about the movie Obsession, a lot of them centered on this idea of Bear being the victim. No. I mean, he might have been a victim until he snapped that goddamn wish willow. He might have been. Ian knows what's going on and starts to tell Nikki this shit. I'm gonna tell. Who told you to do that? If I tell you something in confidence, this is me giving you the consent to hear it, but not the consent to tell everybody else. We don't talk about this shit at all. It starts young, forcing kids to hug people they don't want to, which teaches them the consent don't matter. Exactly. We do it to our children constantly. We do it to our children constantly. Constantly. Go over there and hug your aunt. I don't want to hug my aunt. Oh, go over there and say hi to Mr. So-and-so. I don't want to do that. I don't even know that dude. But we do it anyway. We do it anyway. So the conversation around consent.
But Thomas, real quick, don't skate over the conversation where even when parents don't do that to their children, how the community around them will deem that parent a bad parent and still try to force the children to do it.
Yes. I think society as a whole is very me-centric, and therefore society does not. Why the hell is it against the grain for a parent to tell a child you don't have to do any of these things that these people ask you to do if you don't want to? We don't even teach. Our children should learn body autonomy in the beginning. Like nowadays, we don't do that. And nowadays, we don't do that. And there's a little bit wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with it. But we start young with this shit. We do. Do y'all remember, maybe it was just me. Maybe it's because I went to school at a different time. Maybe it's just me. But do y'all not remember the conversation around good touch, bad touch? Am I the only one who remembers that? I got that conversation early. If somebody touches you below the waist, come tell somebody. I got that early. I got that in kindergarten. Good, like I think it was a song. Good touch, bad touch. Good, no, we don't do that no more. We don't. So, even though the consent conversation might be a 2-minute conversation, when you look at the world, the way the world is shaped right now, we don't get that. We don't. We do not get that. When we talk about atrocities, we don't talk about them from the idea of, yes, sexual harassment, sexual assault and rapes and things of that nature are a torture technique. It is part of the war crimes aspect of it. Unless we're talking about like the Nazis. But other countries have done it too. Everybody has done it. Every country that has ever attacked another country has done that shit. But when we talk about consent, it always comes out to a sexual thing. The other aspect of it is you are fighting against a tide. When you're trying to teach your child about consent, you are fighting against a tide. Especially in 2026, you are fighting against a tide. Right now, you are arguing against people like Donald Trump. The poster child for, I wish Mary had not consented to Fred. That just
Some on the women's team addressed the
And I failed. I'll admit it.
Again, trigger warning. Trigger warning. This is what you were arguing against when you were trying to teach consent and talk to others about consent. Trigger warning. This is the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This is the infamous quote-unquote locker room talk. Trigger warning.
Whoa. I did try and fuck her. She was married.
Huge news there.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Pull the hand.
That's the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Our American media failed us the moment that tape came out because they actually listened to whatever excuse he had for it. That should have been the end of his goddamn presidential campaign, right there. That should have been it. I want y'all to understand the zeitgeist of America has morphed over the past 20 years. It has turned into something a lot of us do not even understand nor see what it truly is. It is a massive thing. Right. And inside of this massive change that is the United States, one thing has become abundantly clear. The worst will be first. I think America took its eye off the ball when they elected Barack Obama. I think they really kind of believed their own hype for once. But that didn't mean this shit went away. It never did. It never did. It was just waiting in the underbelly to come back up. And when it did, every aspect of what you consider to be a normal life changed. Number one, we've never had a politician who refused to show where their money came from. Every president, since Nixon, every president has shown their tax return. Every one. Reagan, Carter, Ford, George Bush Sr., Clinton, W., Obama, Biden, all of them showed their tax return. Even people running for president showed their tax return. Walter Mondale, Michael Dukakis, Ross Perot, all of them. That became a norm. That's what you were supposed to do, thanks to Nixon. Trump, nah, not gonna do it. And he still hasn't. He still hasn't. That man has been yelling out, he's being audited for over 25 years right now, right? There's a societal norm that goes away. In the past, our elected leaders had to have at least some sort of a policy or a plan. Like you couldn't just come up with catchy slogans. You couldn't. Bill Clinton, even though I despise that son of a bitch, had policies. W had policies. Reagan had policies. George Bush Sr. had policies. Carter had policies. Obama had policies. Biden had policies. Trump didn't. Not a single one. He gave them slogans and catchphrases. Build that wall. Make America great again. Blah, blah, blah. But the one that is relevant for the conversation we're having today is this. In the past, a presidential figure who completely blew the societal norms of asking for permission to do something before you did it, whether it's political or personal. In the past, that was just a known. That was just a known. Go back and look at pictures and videos of presidents interacting with people, with the public. Hey, can I hold your baby? That's asking for consent. Oh, hey, can I kiss your baby? That's asking for consent. Hey, can I give you a hug? Hey, come on in here. That's asking for consent. You see what I'm talking? You see a pattern here? Do you see a pattern? Not with Trump. This came out of that man's mouth. And our damn media just let it go. They just let it ride. Which put a battery in the back of a whole lot of people. That's why I said the zeitgeist of America morphed. It morphed. Now, for the sake of the argument, the conversation we're having today, imagine trying to teach someone about these things in this climate. In this climate. How do you tell a son, hey, when a woman says no, that's the end of it? In a time of Brock Turner, Jesse Mack Butler, how do you your kids gonna look at it and go, well, shit, if I'm well connected, it don't matter anyway. Donald Trump. That one of the reasons I hate the fact that obsession exists is because it is almost like a celebration of incel culture. And incels don't believe in consent. They'll tell you in a heartbeat, they don't believe in consent. They don't believe that a woman should be able to say no. Hell, the femcells, the female incels don't believe that a man should be able to say no. Which is the scariest part about all of it. It's the part that annoys me, the part that really, really, truly gets on my goddamn nerves. Because we have just celebrated people who take advantage of the idea of consent. Remember, we live in a time where these fantasies were happening. The fairy tales. Sleeping Beauty was asleep. A dude kissed her and she woke up and yay, they live happy ever after. Flash forward to now, Andrew Tate is telling men, if your woman has a Instagram page, you need to stop her from doing that. That's her page, though. That's her page. If she lets you know that she has it, that is her telling you, I have this page. But Andrew Tate's like, don't give her the consent to do it. Matter of fact, hold on. Hold on.
In the media about what it's really aggressive with their approach. And then on top of that, when videos circulate in the media about what the most recent one I saw of him beating a woman or like with a belt.
My bad. Trigger warning. Trigger warning again. I know I'm doing a lot of that today. I just do not want anybody feeling uncomfortable. Trigger warning. This is the description of some of the things that Andrew Tate has done on video to women. Trigger warning.
I think it was.
Right.
And he was asking her, why are you getting beat? And it was on video and he's looking at the video and it's like, okay.
And they're
clearly this is like.
It's a step beyond demeaning women.
Exactly.
And that's so now we get to where is this criminal? Where this becomes criminal is the allegations from the governments in Romania and from the UK are saying, and they've alleged dozens of counts, are saying that just like you said, there are multiple examples of sexual conduct that was violent, rape, human trafficking, different types of sexual abuse. There's a lot of different types of charges, but and things that we've talked about on a lot of different episodes, a lot of different people, whether it was Epstein, Weinstein,
powerful people,
the Alexander brothers. Video has now come out of Andrew Tate being physically aggressive and violent with a woman, demeaning her on video. Now, his lawyers are saying that was consensual. And the way that they sexually interact, he interacts with his partners, and that's that it was a consensual video, and that's obviously what their defense is going to be.
But allegedly, there's text messages, there's videos, there's a lot of evidence that they claim exists, which it has to, in order for them to even bring these charges forward and to meet extradition requirements. So
that's for sure, because
the part that bothers me the most about this is the word no. It's the word no. These new breed of men, these new breed of incel human beings, do not believe the word no ever. That is scary. That is scary as shit. That is scary as shit. They don't take no for an answer. They don't. This new breed of give me mine, give me type people do not take no for an answer in anything. I made a joke about Donald Trump has made an entire generation of men unfuckable. It was a joke, yes. I a little ha-ha, funny. But it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. How do you teach consent today? How do you teach consent today? How? With the tide of this bullshit happening, how do you teach consent to your kid today? How you do it? How do you weigh the knowledge that you've got to send a boy or a girl out into this world with the way the world is right now? When I have an autistic daughter. She's nonverbal. Okay. Y'all all know her. She's Asian. She's the greatest, the purest soul I've ever known. Purest soul I've ever known in my life. But Asia will follow anybody of authority. Whether it's me, my wife, her sisters, a teacher or something like that. If you give enough authority to my daughter, she will follow. That's scary. That is scary. That is extremely scary. Because that means anybody could get my kid. If they show enough authority, anybody could get my kid. You know do you know what kind of a terrifying thing that is? You know what kind of terrifying thing that is to know that something like that could actually happen? And here we are in a nation right now that pretends like these things are normal. I don't like where we are because of it. I knew we were in trouble. I knew America was in trouble when they started getting really upset about teaching they had sex ed. And parents were losing their goddamn mind. Oh my God, I can't believe you're talking about sexual education to my child. I can teach it at home. And then they weren't teaching it. They weren't teaching it. I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. You cannot tell a horny teenager about abstinence. So sorry. I am terribly sorry. You cannot tell a 14-year-old boy with a nuclear weapon in his pants that just continues to rise every damn time he wakes up. You cannot tell him about abstinence. He will abstinently laugh in your goddamn face. You can't do it. I'm sorry. This idea that if you just tell them you can't have sex, that shit's just going to go away. No, it doesn't. It does not. It does not. And kids need to know about their bodies. They do. I'm sorry. Kids need to know about their bodies from kindergarten until they graduate from grad school. They do. They genuinely do. You raise better human beings that way. There's a chant that goes on on certain college campuses with men that I will not repeat. But it does say, I will just go, no means yes, yes means something else. I'm not going to say what else that is. Go look it up. I'm not the one going to sit here and tell you. But that's what is being drugged and put into the brains of young men in college. This was a group of naval midshipmen on the football team that were chanting this bullshit. Like, what? What? The rates of sexual assault on college campuses, on military bases, in enclosed areas during deployments and things of that nature, nobody wants to talk about those things because it makes it look like we have a society filled with people that do not understand the concept of consent. And quite frankly, we do. Because we have turned talking about our bodies, our possessions, as some sort of a taboo thing. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should not be taboo to talk about sex and sexuality. It shouldn't. It should not be taboo to talk about the idea of inviting somebody to your body versus not inviting somebody to your body. Why is that a scary thing? Why is that a bad thing? Whereas my children were in an abstinence class in elementary school. Morning, theme park. Good to see you. Not gonna lie, our 3 daughters are better fighters than our 4 sons. Even the rugby player, because the husband and boyfriend, their fathers, started teaching them self-defense as soon as they could walk. You see what I'm saying? Now we have to guard our children. And I'm gonna be honest. The women will get theirs in a second, but we're gonna start with the men.
But
we have a lot of men that
hold on, Thomas.
Go ahead.
Let's we as a society, we have to stop doing this. Everybody always likes to talk about teaching their daughters to be defenders. I have yet to see somebody talk about teaching their sons not to be predators. Like, we have to stop being so proud to make our daughters their own protectors instead of being proud of making our sons productive members of society.
I mean, that's what my mother taught me and my brother. That the reason I can talk about it the way I do is because that's exactly what my mother taught us. She taught my daughters, she taught my sisters how to fight. Do not get me wrong. She absolutely did. But she stopped the shit at the root. When it came to me and my brother, my mother was not playing with that bullshit. She was dead ass on it like, yo, you are a gentle. My mother, that beautiful, beautiful woman, taught me the gentleman code in the very goddamn beginning. The very beginning. She never bragged about it. But teaching my sisters how to fight was great. But teaching her sons not to be the sort of men that my sisters have to fight, my mother never took she didn't take a lot of credit for it, but she should have. She absolutely should have. And a lot of mothers do that with their sons, but they feel as though that's what they're supposed to do, which is true. It is absolutely true. A lot of mothers teach their sons how to be good men. How to be good men. Which is something that I think society should be doing, but we're not. Like I said, this is where I said women will get theirs in a second. But for men, we have got to stop acting as though we own the goddamn world. We have to. We have got to stop acting like we own the damn world. Every interaction that you have with the opposite sex should be an interaction that you got consent to have in the first place. I'm gonna just say, let me say it that way. Every interaction, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Every interaction you have with the opposite sex should be a action of consent. Hell, with the same sex. Because, yes, gentlemen, men rape men. It happens. It happens. Men sexually assault other men. Because once again, It's not about sex. It's about power. It is literally a dominant man trying to say to a weaker one, I own you. Like we joke. How many times have y'all made the don't drop the soap joke when somebody's going to prison? Go ahead, raise your hand. Raise your hand. No shame. No shame, but how many of y'all have done it? How many of y'all have done it? Made the, you see a dude getting ready to go to jail. Well, don't drop the soap. That joke is basically about a sexual assault. Y'all understand it, right? That joke is about a sexual assault. That joke in and of itself is about a sexual assault. Because we know this shit goes on in prisons. We know this. Everybody loves talking about Fleece Booty Warrior Johnson, but even his approach about wanting to have sexual relations with another man in prison was not about consent. We tell the joke all the time, I like you and I want you. And we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours. Wait a minute. Hold up. You like me. And your way of showing you're going to like me is we're going to have sex whether I want to or not. Society-wise, we make that joke all the damn time. We made it about Chud the Builder. We made it about Jake Lang. We made it about everybody that's went to prison. Chris Brown, not Chris Brown, but R. Kelly. We made this joke before. Each and every one of us participated in the idea of a man not giving consent for another man to have sex with him. We all done it. Listen, I'm holding my hand up too because I've done it. I've done it. We are perpetuating the idea of not having consent. Every one of us. Every time we make that joke. Every time. Every single time. The idea of fighting against trans people, do you know where that shit comes from? This idea that a trans person is going to go into a bathroom, or a man dressed up like a woman is going to go into a bathroom and forcibly have sex with a woman or a child in there. That is in our head. Now, there have been instances. What's her name? The star chick that just got arrested. What's her name? Shit, can't think of her name. Cannot think of her name. Cannot think of her name. But she got caught having relations with a underage kid. Now people will go, look, the trans are doing it. No, you're still believing in that in your head that this person who has a life you don't understand is somehow going to go in and forcibly take something from your wife, your child. And it's not true. So while you over here looking at that shit, we're still making jokes about men dropping soap in the prison. See how that works? See how that works? One is a fantasy that we made up in our head. The other one is us acknowledging that this thing happens and, hey, hope you enjoy it. Do you see now how that works? Do you see now how that works? We make a joke about something, Sydney Starr, thank you. We make a joke about something that we know for a fact is happening. And we just go, ha, 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 you don't have any consent. When you drop the soap, they're going to fuck you in the ass. We know this is happening. This is a reality. Over here, we are fantasizing and believing that a trans person who is just trying to exist, wants to go to the bathroom, take a shit, whatever, is somehow going to go in and take something from our child. We don't want that, but we're laughing about that. See how it works? You see how it works? We don't want this over here because that person wasn't giving consent, and we don't want that, even though it's not happening. We know this shit is happening over here. We know that this person is not giving consent to whatever's about to happen, and we think that shit's funny. That's why I said it is a minefield now. It didn't used to be. It didn't used to be. Kindergarten kids used to get taught not to touch each other unless you have permission. They made songs out of this shit. They made games out of this shit. Ooh, don't touch. Like, we used to do that. We don't do that anymore. And what has filled that vacuum? Legit question. may I ask when and where the soap joke originated from? The soap joke started like in the 70s. In the 70s. Because what happened was prison rape was always a thing. I want y'all to hear me and hear me very closely. Prison rape was always a thing. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. We're going to talk about something that maybe you didn't know, but after today, you will. Sexual assaults of inmates by other inmates has always happened. It has been an ongoing thing. Ever since people started putting other people in confined areas with each other, it happened. But we didn't start reporting on it. We didn't start actually taking it as something that we should be talking about until like the 70s. Until like the 70s. Hell, it wasn't even a mainstream thing to talk about until the AIDS crisis. They were talking about the amount of new AIDS infections in prison. Now we know at the time we only realized that they thought you can get AIDS through one or two different ways. Swapping of blood or swapping of bodily fluid. That's when we started to have a conversation like, yo, they are literally in prison having sex with each other. The soap joke started right around then. It did. It was America's acknowledgement that sexual assault happens. It's been happening all over the world. If you have a prison someplace in the world, sexual assault is happening and it's men on men, it's men on women, it's women on women. Women on men, it happens. It happens. Prison guards sleeping with inmates. That's a known thing. In the situation, though, if you are a prison guard and you are having sex with an inmate, I don't give a shit if she does give consent. By law, it is considered non-consensual because there is a power dynamic. That is a true statement. Because there is a power dynamic. So these things have been happening. They just became mainstream. And then the jokes happen. You know, we don't, as a society, I think we've given a lot of lip service to the idea of consent. We have. Like, you can teach your kid, hey, don't touch that person unless they want you to. And that's fine. But then the kid goes and sees a movie. You know, the scene where the guy won't take no for an answer, the girl's trying to break up, and he just goes over and starts kissing her, and then she starts kissing him back. It's kind of non-consensual. I'm sorry. It's kind of... Be safe, Wrestle Chick. May your day be as sweet as the coffee in your cup. But I mean, I really want y'all to think about that, Dad. That's a real thing. That is a real thing. You can't teach your kid consent and then have them go watch Cinderella, or not Cinderella, but Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. Like we're giving our kids two different mixed messages, which makes mixed messaging as an adult. Like I said, the idea of having the joke about not dropping the soap is a perfect example of how we forget about consent. We understand that sexual assaults happen in prison. We understand that. But we're out here encouraging this shit. That's what we're doing. Meanwhile, we can also have these fantasies of what we think a person is going to do without consent. That's all this comes down to. People like Sophie Cunningham are fighting against trans people doing anything. We don't want them in women's sports, and they're not there. And they're not there. And in that void of us not understanding, you could put anything in that void. Anything. You can put anything you want in that void because all of it's going to be, is going to be part of the conversation. The reason the thing that pissed me off about Donald Trump is there was a ready-made excuse. Well, that's locker room talk. I've been in several locker rooms in my entire life. I ain't never talked about grabbing no goddamn pussy. That ain't never happened. But we brushed it off. We brushed it off. Then when we find out about E. Jean Carroll and how he goes into a room and does some shit to her without consent, we brushed it off. Brushed it off. America does a lot of brushing off. The problem is we still got kids, children that are watching, children that are listening, children that are learning. The reason the scene in Spider-Man Brand New Day stuck out was because it was almost as if Marvel or Kevin Feige or Tom Holland and Zendaya, whoever, somebody wanted people to know, hey, this may have looked cool in the 50s, but it's not cool now. She did not give consent. That's why it stuck out to me, especially after watching Obsession. Especially after watching Obsession and then seeing that scene, I was like, yeah, exactly. This makes sense. This makes sense. We have to teach our children about their body. I know it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people to hear that, but it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Because if you don't teach your child about good touch, bad touch, somebody out in the world will, and you ain't going to like how they do it. Like Taz said, we need to start highlighting and being proud of the fact that we tell our sons not to be these creepy predator ass motherfuckers. That we need to be happy about this. That's something we should brag about. That's something we should brag about. Teaching your daughter to protect herself, yeah, that's something you should do anyway. But it's a hell of a lot easier to stop the problem at the source. Because guess what, kids? Guess what? When you're teaching your son not to be creepy predators, you're teaching your daughters to know what a creepy predator is. You see how that works? You out here telling your son, don't be the sort of person that just runs up and grabs somebody. Or what's the street call them? Where my hug ass niggas. That's what that's the streets call them that. Oh, where's my hug ass? Hey, where's my hug? Your daughters are learning that if a man comes up and just starts putting his hands all over, she should beat his ass. Yes, that training about punching people in the face and shit, yes, it is perfect. Works right then and there. But she's learning, well, my mama said my brother shouldn't act like that. This dude is acting like my mother taught my brother not to be. Hey, bro, get your hands off me before I smack shit at you. Get your goddamn hands off me before I come home and take something away from you. Like, don't touch me. It's all, get your hands off me.
I'm surgical with this bitch, Jay. How you want to?
The problem with the idea of consent in the time of obsession is you see the cause and the effect. Obsession is the effect. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, yo, you were doing so much. You're going way too deep on this shitty ass film. It's not just the film. I need y'all to hear me when I say this. It's not just the film. It's what the film represents. I have a fundamental problem with this film. Not because of the film itself. It's already bad enough. It's what the film represents that it has fundamentally changed how I'm looking at shit. We've all had to deal with Kevin Samuel. Every woman, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Every black woman has had to deal with the remnants of Kevin Samuels. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I am wrong. Every goddamn woman has had to deal with the remnants of Kevin Samuels. Every time you hear one of these know nothing, do nothing ass motherfuckers say some shit like, I'm a high value man, you are dealing with the remnants of Kevin Samuels. Every time you hear a man tell a woman what she needs to do to catch him, you are dealing with the remnants of Kevin Samuels. When you hear a black man denigrating black women for being this, that, and the goddamn third, you are dealing with the remnants of Kevin Samuels. When you see these aggressive ass men sending dick pics and threatening messages and shit like that to women, you are dealing with the remnants of Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate. When you hear men talking about what a woman, having 2 or 3 women, but his woman better not have another man or have an IG or anything like that, you are dealing with the remnants of Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and Fresh and Fit. And then, as if it's not bad enough to try to wade in these waters, here comes a movie like Obsession, which is a celebration of that culture. What you end up with is Elliot Rodgers. What you end up with is the guy that went to 2 Korean-ran massage parlors and shot them up. That's what you get. Obsession is a movie that never should have been made. Not without some sort of a counterbalance to it. All the talk, all the think pieces I've seen on it, everybody trying to dissect it and what is bear and blah, blah, blah. Go to YouTube. You can see them. They're right there. Type in Obsession Breakdown and watch what the hell you get. But that movie shouldn't have been studied. It shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been studied because it shouldn't have been made. It is a goddamn massive red flag. Let me tell y'all, here's a secret. For those of you who have never been to South Korea, this will blow your mind. All right. So if you get a chance to go to South Korea, you go to the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. See, South Korea and North Korea are not at peace. They have an armistice, which is a truce. That's all it is. At any moment, North Korea could start some shit and the war would be on again, right? So you go to the DMZ and you see these little blue buildings. There's like 2 of them. That is where the North and the South would have negotiations. That's where they would talk about things, right? In those little blue buildings. Because the blue buildings border both North and South Korea. You'll go in there, and inside the blue house, or inside on the South Korean side of the blue house, you'll see these ROK soldiers, these Republic of Korea soldiers. They're wearing helmets, they got these jackets, and they all wear aviator sunglasses so that nobody gets it, so the other side doesn't get a chance to see their eyes, right? So you'll see, like you can literally see North Korea right here, right? You go further on into the tour, they'll give you a chance to go look and see Pyongyang, which is on the other side of the DMZ. This is what I'm about to talk about represents the type of red flag that Obsession is. So you're looking in Pyongyang, right? The Republic of Korea, the Republic of South Korea has a flagpole where the South Korean flag flies. North Korea got so jealous of it that they made a flagpole twice the size of the South Korean flagpole, and they put a flag that is so massive, so massive, it doesn't blow in the wind. That's how big it is. It is so big and so massive on this goddamn flagpole that's twice the size of almost any building in North Korea, with a flag that's so big it does not blow in the wind. It doesn't. That is the type of flag that obsession is. That's the type of red flag obsession is. We're giving aid and comfort to people that don't believe in the idea of good touch and bad touch. We are. We are giving aid and comfort to people who, quite frankly, and I'm being dead ass honest, should not have a conversation, be in the conversation in the first place. The conversation about consent can last 5 minutes. Don't let anybody touch you that you don't want them to, and ask for permission to touch somebody. That could last 5 minutes. But you got to look at that through the minutia of where we are today. A president that we know for a fact does not believe in the idea of consent. The man has bragged about going into the Miss Teen USA backstage area because he owns the pageant, so he gets a chance to look at all of these young girls. The same president who saw a 10-year-old going up an escalator, he said, in 10 years, I'll be marrying her. The same president that when asked what does he have in common with his own daughter, he said sex, who went on Howard Stern and called his own child a great piece of ass. Howard Stern said it. He's like, yeah, she's a great piece of ass. We're talking about Ivanka, his child. And the media plays with kid gloves when it comes to Donald Trump's non-belief in the idea of consent. They play fast and loose. The people in his orbit, they play fast and loose with the idea of consent around his whole cabinet. Nobody consented to have ICE agents on the street snatching people up out of the damn street, out of the car. Now, did they? Nobody did. Nobody did. Nobody consented to having ICE agents killing people on the streets. I didn't pay for that. I didn't pay for that. These people are doing this without the consent of the citizens of the United States. And we just let it happen. You know, we only hear about it when ICE goes too far and kills somebody. The news doesn't report it. The news does not report it. So you're not going to hear it from them. They want you to think everything is hunky-dory. We're not having a true and honest conversation about what is going on in Israel. We're not. We're not having a true and honest conversation about what's going on in Israel. Because yes, there's bombs. Yes, there's snipers. Yes, there's bullets. But there are also sexual assaults and rapes that are happening in those prisons. While everybody's talking about, does Israel have a right to exist? It already does. Can we talk about the fact that you are now doing something that can be considered a war crime just by definition of what you're doing? We're not having that conversation. We're not. We're not having a conversation about the fact that the podcast bros now lead any conversation about relationships. We're not having a conversation about the fact that, and I made a video about this last night. So let me go ahead and play it.
I understand. We live in a social media driven age, and content is king. You have to make content every single day to be on that social media. I get that. But some of you motherfuckers out here doing some shit that you need your motherfucking ass whooped. Let me go ahead and say this for the record. You can say a lot of things about Thomas Bishop. Say a lot of things about Thomas McCormick. One thing you will never, ever, 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 ever in your motherfucking life ever hear me say is this: a natural attraction to children. Unless it's followed right by, so let's take your bitch ass off the fucking census.
There is a man on TikTok right now who is trying to make some sort of a salient argument. I'll just find it. I'll just find it. Trigger warning. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I know his first name is Funky, but
Natural attraction to children.
I feel bad for anyone who wakes up one day and discovers that they have a sexual attraction to children.
Yeah, shut your bitch.
his name is Funky. I cannot pronounce his last name. But that man.
It's Funky Dineva.
Yeah, him. Yeah, Hickley, him. He got in front of a camera and a microphone where people can see and hear him and used the words natural attraction to children. At that point, he should have just been escorted out to get his entire ass whooped in the parking lot. You let them words come out of your mouth, it's Playboy time. It's pimping, hey, pimping parking lot 1511. That's when 1511, that is an automatic 1511 in the parking lot. An automatic 1511 in the parking lot. But here is the larger thing. He made that video. It got posted on the most daily used social media application on earth. And he just, boom, just, there you go. Let me go ahead and throw it out in the ether. If your kid has TikTok and he or she just so happens to run up on that, what are you going to tell him? What exactly are you going to tell him? You know, I said yesterday, and this, once again, this needs to be said. There are men, Christian men, quote unquote, going around to different states trying to change the age of consent laws for one reason and one reason only: to be able to marry children. If you are a parent or you're an uncle or an aunt to small children, you have an uphill battle. You do. You have an uphill battle to try to make better human beings. If you are a single mother to sons that are under the age of 10, you have an uphill battle. You have got to raise boys to become good men in this society at this time. I've got grandsons. I got 4 of them. I got 4 grandsons. One, Akiri, is just this eclectic kid. He just likes doing eclectic things. Hey, he's, ethereal type kid. Lennox, great kid. Big smile, always joking, always laughing, giggly, big kid. Desmond Jr. Desmond Jr. is a mess. Desmond Jr. is cowboy boots and nah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like he's Mr. Cowboy Boots in the middle of the summertime. He's just a good, he's gonna be one of those kind of a in the woods, backwoods kind of kid. Isaiah is a baby. Isaiah's a baby. He's just now learning himself. He knows how to walk, learn how to talk. Every time I see him, I do this and we go with the fist bump. I'm afraid for them. I'm afraid for them. I am. I put a word to Rao that these boys never learn who Andrew Tate is. That they never walk up on a Fresh and Fit podcast. That they never hear Donald Trump talking about grabbing by the pussy. That they don't hear a grown man say a natural attraction to children. So it's my job to make sure that they know what it is what consent is and what it means, not just sexually, but in life. I do not envy anyone who has children that are trying to raise them in this time at this time in this place. I do not envy you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I am just as scared as you are. But just because we are fearful does not mean we cannot do it. Just because we're fearful does not mean we should not continue to teach. So I will end the show with a little bit of hope. Because y'all know I don't like to give y'all dour shit and then just, hey, have a great day, mother. I don't like doing it. It is a very dark time. I will tell you, listen, I agree with you. Ugly out here. It's really, really ugly out here. We are finding ourselves more and more being put into situations and having conversations, uncomfortable ones, about things that should not be done. Okay? But we got to do it anyway, kids. We have to do it. So here's your hopeful thought. The seeds you sow today will be the tree that someone else gathers shade from. Now, what does that mean? The seeds you sow today, the lessons you teach your kids and your grandkids today. Meaning, you make it your business that when you're teaching your kid how to tie their shoes or ride a bike or wash dishes, you're also teaching them consent. It ain't got to be a big, long, drawn-out thing. It ain't got to last 4 days. It can last 15 minutes. Grab your kid. Hey, come here for a second. So if I want to touch you, I can just touch you, right? Yeah. But if I ask you, can I touch you? Am I right? Yeah, you're supposed to. Exactly. Nobody's supposed to touch you unless you want them to. Nobody's supposed to do anything to you unless you give them permission to do so. 15 minutes, boom, you're out the door. The seeds you sow today will be the tree that someone else finds shade in. Meaning, you teaching your children against all of the bullshit that is going on in the world today. You're teaching your kid about good touch and bad touch. You're teaching your child about respecting a person's boundaries, because that's the word that nobody likes to use, boundaries. You are teaching your child that your rights stop where someone else's rights start. You're doing all of it. You raise this child into adulthood with those lessons still in their head over and over and over again. Someone in their life will thank you for it, even if you're not here, because you have raised a respectful human being, a respectful. Sure, the incel community is getting their day to shine. I really wish the sunshine was a flamethrower, and then we'd have to worry about the motherfuckers. But just know, whether you're a single mom, whether you're a couple with a little kid, if you're teaching them this lesson, know that you're doing the right thing. Above all else, know that you are doing the right thing. You're not a bad parent. You are doing the right thing. You're sowing the seeds today. You may not be here to see those seeds bloom, to see the tree that comes up afterwards, but you are doing a good thing. Please remember that. Please remember that. Even if it seems like you're struggling uphill and you're having to deal with the remnants of the Tates and the Kevin Samuels and the Fresh and Fits, you're dealing with the stench of the Donald Trumps and the Pete Hegseths of the world, please understand you're still doing a good thing. Be proud of the work that you put into your children every single day. Don't worry about the obsessions of the world. Worry about building, creating, and giving the world a good person. Make a good person with seeds. And that good person will give shade to all of us. I am so sorry for the lateness of the show. That's my fault. I had my trazodone, and man, I got some sleep. Finally, I got some sleep. So if you like what I'm doing here, want to support, think about becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/ThomasVilleBishop. $3 a month, help me keep all this running. Guess what I found yesterday? I found all of my old Germany pictures. I found more than I had in the video that I was making for the Germany pictures. So guess what? You guys are getting all of them, including there was a picture that I saw when I was at the Berlin Wall that broke my heart. And I'm going to make goddamn sure that you guys understand why it did. But you will see that only on my Patreon, patreon.com/ThomasVilleBishop. The Sound of Coffee shop is open, it's running, and it's piping hot. Make sure you remember that. The Sound of Coffee, all one word, -shop.fourthwall.com. Let me go ahead and read the goodbyes. Be limitless. Be limitless. I love who you are exactly as you are. I am so effing proud of you. Remember, beauty may be dangerous, but intelligence is lethal. I am here, no matter what, when, or why. The inspirational word from Miss Star Ogoin. Hydrate, elevate self-love and self-care. I love you all. Have a beautiful day on purpose. That is the good word from Miss Trustina. Be kind and show as much love to others as possible, because you never know what someone is going through. You are loved, you are respected, you are admired, you matter, and you are valid. That's the STL Baloo Drop. And as always, before I leave you all with the universal greeting of the coffee beans. We might start calling this the universal affirmation of the coffee beans. That's what we're going to start calling. I leave you all with the universal affirmation of the coffee beans. Bow your heads up.
How you doing? I woke up. Everybody else, because I woke up. That's how I look at it. You all had a chance until I woke up. Today's mine. That's just what it is.
That's what it is, kids. Be kind, be positive, be authentic, be you. I love you all. Please refill your cup today. That's what we're doing today. That's the loving word from Ms. Lyles. You guys make this show what it truly is. You guys make the show what it truly is. I told you, this ain't a me thing anymore. It's we. And I mean that. I mean that. This is a highlight of my day. This. Being able to sit here and have these conversations, uncomfortable as they may be, with you. And I got to be honest with you. I got to be dead ass honest with you. You guys are good. You guys are really good at this. I'm not even bullshitting. You guys are good at this. Everyone be safe. Have a great day. Love one another. Thank you, Nana. Nana J and DJ. You too. Words will never be able to express how much I love you both. Words will never be able to convey it. When I'm having a bad day, I can always reach out to either one of you or both of you. When I'm feeling down, you guys are there to pick me up. You guys have helped me in so many different ways. The thanks I have for you is beyond measure. Nana, I thank you for being my Nana. I think I now understand what it feels like to have a grandmother, and it's because of you. DJ, man, you remind me so much of my sister Linda. That ain't even funny. Always there when I need me. Always there when I need you. I love you both to death. I love all of you. I love all of you. Today's episode was very hard for me because of an experience I had, an experience that both of my best friends had, but I really need to hear this. Thank you, STL Blue Girl, for being here. I mean that. Thank you all for being here. So I'm gonna get out of here. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is Superplex Party with myself and the Angry IT Nerd. We're talking Brock Lesnar retirement. We're talking Zilla Fatu is in that building. And we're going to talk a little bit about All In Wembley. We're going to be talking about that today. 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the Taz Effect with the one, the only, the woman that sells all the records, Miss Taz J, one of our two big, strong news people here on GCPR. I am proud to call her my sister. I'm proud that she's the EP, and I am so damn proud that she has her own show. I love her to death. Taz J, the Taz Effect, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Superplex Party with myself and the Angry IT Nerd. Tomorrow is Flag on the Play Friday. I like the format of us just throwing shit out and giving it flags rather than, because y'all do not understand how hard it is for me to be, like, every night I don't go to bed, like after Superplex Party, I don't go to bed like 2 a.m. in the morning because I'm out here trying to write these flags. But I like the flow of, all right, it's first quarter. Everybody give me some first quarter flags, and then we just pick the best one, and then we give flags to it. I love that shit. That means it's an interactive show. You see what I did there? See? All right, kids. What is it that we say every day? Remember, just because the world is dark, just because it seems like the light is not visible, doesn't mean that it's not there. You know where it is? In you. It is in you. You are the light of the world. Follow your own path, light the way for others, and never be ashamed or scared to do so. What is it we say every day, kids? May your day be as sweet as the coffee in your cup. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Thomas Mitchell. Oh, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. My name is Thomas Bishop. I am known as the villain. My title and designation is the Brutalist, the leader of the Villains Guild, a proud, upstanding member of the Outcast Nation. And this has been an incredible, thoughtful, truthful Thursday episode of The Sound of Coffee on Ghost Golf Productions Radio, GCPR, where every voice matters. I love you. I'm proud of you. Keep being the best ever. Look out for one another, love on each other, encourage one another, and make sure we all convene and come back tomorrow. Why? Say it with me, kids. Because that is the coffee bean way. As always and forever, with love in my heart, I say this. With peace on my mind, I give this. And just a tad bit of hair grease. I will see you all in the morning. Flag on the Play Friday. I love you all to death. Be safe and have a great day. Peace. Hey, love you. Don't forget it. See you in the morning, kids.